Hello everyone and welcome back to Blaugrana everything and welcome back to the channel and the match review as we look at how FC Barcelona fared in La Liga at home to Osasuna in what was a must-win fixture for the Catalan Giants. We'll also briefly revisit Barca's injury situation as yet another centre-back came off with an injury. Then we're going to look at some positives and negatives from the performance, and also finally I'll give you my man of the match. So let's get started. As we know, the final score was 4-0 for the second consecutive match. That's like, I don't remember the last time that happened. And yeah, Barca, all things considered, were worthy winners on the day, and really they could have had a lot more to show for it than the scoreboard reflected, as Osasuna struggled to get any sort of foothold in this game. But before we get into the details of how the two teams performed and talk about the positives and negatives of this performance from Barcelona, let's first look at the way that the two teams set up. Barca coming into this game had a lot of questions surrounding their starting 11. We knew that players like Messi and De Jong were going to make a return after being rested midweek, and there was also the news of Busquets returning to the fold, rumors of Dest having some muscular discomfort, and of course the questions about which players would keep their starting place from the match in midweek. One thing that was not in doubt though was that Koeman would set up with this trusty 4-2-3-1, and he did so kinda, sorta. It was a 4-3-3, but he was also taking a 4-2-3-1 and 4-2-4 kind of shape as Barcelona were attacking. And this is how he set up for the game. Osasuna, on the other hand, decided to set up as follows with a 4-4-2 that was kind of a high line but with a mid block. Yeah, it was a bit weird, their decision on the day. Now, as far as performances go, Barca started well, looking lively and full of attacking intent. They would have been able to take the lead even as early as the 11th minute, really, not for a wonderful goal line clearance from Unai Garcia denying Coutinho after some wonderful work by Griezmann to set him up. For the majority of the match, Barca had the possession of the ball and were looking for ways to break through that Osasuna sort of highline mid-block shape. Osasuna, though, to their credit, did create some good goal-scoring chances for themselves, though. But the highline Osasuna were playing meant that Barca had a lot of joy in the chance creation department. Okay, next big chance fell to Griezmann, who, despite beating the offside trap and being played through magnificently, was unable to beat the goalkeeper, who was sharp in coming off his line to deny him. Despite these early warning signs though, Osasuna did not want to give up their attempts to play with that higher line, and eventually Martin Braithwaite punished them as the Osasuna defensive line was unable to stop a ball over the top, the trademark Messi pass to Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba then attempted to play a square ball to Coutinho, who had actually missed the sitter there, choosing to shoot straight at the goalkeeper. But luckily, Martin Braithwaite was on hand, pounced on the rebound and bundled the ball home. And it's just that number 9 type of goal, really. Like, it's because he is that type of a player that he was in that position to score that goal. Had he not been there, I don't think anyone would have mopped up the chance and scored that tapping. Osasuna, though, after falling behind, started to come out of their defensive shell, and they actually managed to find the back of the net, but the goal was rightfully ruled out for offside. And just as it was starting to look like they would be able to hold the score to 1-0 going into the break, though, Barca scored their second, and it was an absolute golazo from Antoine Griezmann. Once again, it started with Messi and Coutinho playing Jordi Alba in behind Osasuna's high defensive line. My goodness. So many opportunities came from Osasuna playing that high, because naturally whenever the ball is played over and Jordi Alba runs and gets on the end of it, your whole defensive line is then going to fall back, but it's going to leave a gap between themselves and that second row of midfielders. And really, it was in that pocket of space that Griezmann got on the end of a clearance by Osasuna from Jordi Alba's cross, and he was really just coming onto the ball, and it was asking to be hit. He could have taken another touch, but he was like, nah, I'm gonna take this one time. He just absolutely leathered the ball on the volley, and it was a brilliant goal. 2-0 Barca. And just like that, you're Osasuna now, and you're thinking, what do we do next? Well, the second half started with Osasuna trying to be more adventurous, and they looked to make Ter Stegen work with 2 long-range shots just within the first 3 or 4 minutes of the restart. Unfortunately for them though, they didn't really do much between then and the time that Barcelona found a third 11 minutes after the restart. They were caught trying to play the ball out from the back. Griezmann gave them pressure and the ball broke and was worked to Coutinho. Coutinho then tried to feed a pass through to Braithwaite. Then the defender intercepted that pass, and his interception unfortunately fell into the path of Griezmann, who then squared the ball for Coutinho to tap in. And unselfishly so, I should say, by Antoine Griezmann here. He could have taken the shot himself, but now passes it on to Coutinho, and just like that, Barca are 3-0 up. Griezmann has a goal and an assist, and your goal scorers are Griezmann, Coutinho, and Braithwaite. Who'd have thought? Osasuna still showed some threats going forwards though, and could have pulled one back on a couple of occasions. First time with Budimir putting a header wide. The second time with Torres cracking a shot off of Ter Stegen's right hand post, but that ball just would not go in for Osasuna, and their struggles in front of goal continue. Minutes later though, Longley would then have to go off injured with what looked like a twisted ankle. According to Go, Koeman himself has since come out to say that Longley's injury is not serious and he does not expect him to be out for long, like maybe he'll just miss the midweek fixture against Ferencváros. Messi then rounded off the scoring in the 71st minute with a typical Messi golazo. It was spoiled with some high quality goals in this game by Barcelona. Messi picked up the ball, ghosted past a couple of defenders, and then just smashed it into the top corner. And it was a shot that felt as pregnant with emotion as the celebration that followed it. A fitting tribute to Diego Maradona. Now, there were plenty of chances still, with Trincao in particular missing a clear-cut chance after yet another opportunity created by Lionel Messi. But ultimately, 4-0 is how the scoreline stayed. And, well, now we can move on to positives and negatives from this performance. And as usual, I'm going to start with my negatives. The first negative, I feel like this has been a repeated theme. The first negative is not taking our chances. Yes, I know Barca scored 4 goals. Yes, I know. But still, we're here talking about it could have been more. And it's that lack of clinical finishing that ends up hurting you in different games where you're not going to be able to have 15 shots or 20 shots. You only have 4 or 5 shots, and you have to score all your goals from those 4 or 5 shots. And if we look at teams like Bayern Munich, that's exactly what they do. They beat Atletico Madrid 4-0 with only 5 shots on target. So we need to start taking our chances. The second negative is giving away high quality chances. The number of times that Budimir found himself just needing to tap in. I mean, give those chances to Robert Lewandowski and they're all goals. There's no doubt about that. We continue to give away all these high quality chances to the opposition. Of course, some of it is coming from lack of cover from fullback areas once we push up, and just the rest is just not being able to stop supply line into the box. There were so many chances that Osasuna had to cross, and The man crossing the ball, there was almost no pressure on him, and he had his time to pick his pass, or he had his time to pick his cross. The third one I am going to go with, I know it's probably going to sound like I'm being whiny, but my third negative is Coman's tactical setup. Coman in this game, I feel, did not choose the best players for Barcelona to outplay their opposition, I would say. And the reason for that, we could see it all throughout, especially the first half, is that there was a lack of width coming from the right flank in particular. And so we were forced to going left. Now, like I've said it so many times, Messi was playing the ball over the top to Jordi Alba. And of course, we had joy in that regard. But I think that owed more to how Osasuna set up. I do not know why Osasuna decided to play with a high line. That was suicidal considering the amount of pace in Barcelona's front line. When you're thinking about people like Griezmann, people like Dembele, you know, all those guys, it's like, do you really want to play a high line against players of that caliber who can punish you? And Koeman, in this particular regard, I feel that if Osasuna had set up differently, then we would have struggled to create chances or even to score those 2 goals that we did manage to score in the first half. Our approach play was pretty predictable. It was knocking it about from the back to about maybe 10 or 15 yards from the Osasuna penalty box, at which point you give the ball to Messi and he looks for Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba then cuts it back, you know, runs to the byline and squares it. And that was that. Down the right, there was almost nothing happening. Well, now that I have whined and complained about the negatives, we can take a look at some positives from this display by FC Barcelona. And the first positive I feel was Griezmann and Braithwaite working well together. I feel that this was a game where Antoine Griezmann benefited from having Martin Braithwaite in and around that penalty box, because it gave him a bit more freedom to be creative, and it also allowed a lot of space for him and a lot more time on the ball, because obviously the defenders are going to be trying to look to close down the striker. So that was my first positive. I think there is cause to be reasonably excited about seeing Griezmann and Braithwaite in a starting lineup together. My second positive is a clean sheet for Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I mean, just he deserves one, okay? He deserves a break, especially after what happened last time out. And I think he was good value for his clean sheet today. He didn't do anything wrong. Of course, like I said, Osasuna themselves were quite wasteful with their chances, but he was deserving of that. My next positive is Oscar Mingueza, who once again impressed, and really he did well. He couldn't really have asked much more of him today, I thought, in that display. So kudos to the kid. He's doing well, and I hope he continues to grow, especially since Longley is definitely out, so we might need him to play alongside maybe Ronald Araujo or Frankie de Jong, like we saw today later on in the week. My final positive was seeing Trincao and Dembele out on the field at the same time, and it actually is something that I feel can work, because once they came on, we saw how Osasuna were a bit more hesitant to press Barcelona. Like all throughout this game, Osasuna had been trying to press Barcelona high. Once Trincao and Dembele came on though, that option that Barca has of the ball straight to them, I feel like that made the Osasuna players be a bit more hesitant with pushing up and trying to press Barcelona high up the pitch. Trincao in particular today looked very confident and adventurous, and I think that was something to look forward to in future as well, seeing Trincao and Dembele going down either one of those flanks. And it's a shame that their goal that Dembele scored, assisted by Trincao, was ruled out correctly for offside. But yeah, there's plenty of cause to be optimistic. Well guys, my final segment now is the man of the match. And on this one, it was really between two players for me. It was between Antoine Griezmann and Lionel Messi. And I am going to go with Messi because I feel like he was just on it today. He created so many chances. Barely set a foot wrong, and yeah, that's my man of the match, but definitely honorable mentions to Antoine Griezmann. Well, guys, that's the match review from me. What did you think about the game? What did you think about Barcelona's performance? Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will keep you up to date with everything about Barca. But for now, it's bye from me. Remember to stay tuned to Blaugrana everything, and Forza Barca.